Realize that we've just sort of dove in and we're talking about au pairs, and do we want to do a quick recap of what an actual au pair is for people who might be listening that might not actually know, because it isn't a very common service in Australia?
Still fairly unknown. I think Peter Dutton has done a great job explaining what an au pair should not be a couple of years back. So it was like all over the papers a few years back. So au pairs usually come from overseas. So your typical profile is, European girl. I mean, there are some boys among them, but still mainly girls. They graduate school. They want to go overseas before they begin their studies. They're keen to improve their language skills, experience a different culture, and again, really be independent. Yeah. So that's the big gap year experience. In Australia, they would come on a working holiday visa, usually. So there's a bunch of countries that can apply for that. And so they live with the family. So part of the family, I always explain to families, imagine it's your husband's niece. Last time you saw her was at your wedding. She was a little flower girl. Now she grew up and she's like, she wants to get out of home for a while. So of her, right? You met her once, but actually you don't know her, but you have a relationship, you have a responsibility for her, right? Figure her out, get her head straight, right? And allow her to have a bit of life. And so they live with the family. They do most of the activities together. So you have dinner together. You'll go together for a barbecue on the weekend. If you do a weekend getaway to your holiday home, you would offer her to join. But after a while, she'll find her own friends. She'll be like, yeah, no, thanks. I think I've seen enough of you guys. And which is only fair, right? So she's part of the family, but she's also her own adult, or he. And au pairs, I would almost compare them to Facebook, yeah? Early 2000, you didn't know you needed it. But once you have, you can't live without it. So families who do have au pairs and have a great first experience will have au pairs for at least 7 years until their kids are out of primary school, because that's the busiest time when you have, your second child, third child, and all of a sudden one's at school, one's at kinder, one's at childcare, and the juggle is insane. That's when you need an extra pair of hands, somebody who's happy to do all the runarounds, the drive arounds, take the kids to activity, jump with them on the trampoline for half an hour. Imagine that as a mom, yeah? And of course, there's the odd, lockdown, isolation, homeschooling, and everything in between. Because let's be honest, shit hits the fan every single day in different forms. And you always need to have a backup, right? Just one kid needs to have a runny nose. Childcare won't take them. Who do you leave them with, right? Usually it's the moms who have to drop everything. Yeah. And once you get to a stage in your career where you're managing teams and you have bigger responsibilities, you can't just drop out every now and then, right? You just need to have the backup. So that's what au pairs do.